Welcome to Secret Story Recount. Today I am going to explain a Thai comedy youth romance drama film called Ugly Duckling series. Watch out and enjoy. Mainem is a shy, insecure teen girl who constantly has a box covering her head. She has a strange illness that makes her despise her own face. She genuinely thinks that she must remain hidden from people because she is the most repulsive creature to have ever lived. She hasn't even looked in the mirror at herself in more than 3 years, let alone left the house. Mainem resides with her father, Mr. Ban, and brother Plowen, who are both constantly concerned for her. Plowen comes home one evening with a bruised elbow and confesses to shoplifting. He tells his father about how crazy his sister is in order to keep himself out of trouble. Mainem's condition also causes her to experience frequent panic attacks and causes her to have breathing problems when she is anxious. She is unable to breathe as a result of Plowen's remark. She is soothed by Mr. Ban, who has grown accustomed to her outbursts over the years. Then Mainem tells the tale of her life and blog about how she ended up being the ugly duckling. People might find it surprising that for the first 13 years of her life, Mainem was just like any other regular person. She was social, had friends, and felt good about herself. She eventually fell in love with the most attractive boy in her class in middle school, though. She confessed her love for him in front of everyone one day because she was so madly in love with him. She was disappointed when the boy did not feel the same way about her. Instead, he slammed her as the ugliest girl ever and threw her gift to the ground. Even after telling her that her face was a jump scare, he insisted that she wear a bag over her head. Her classmates all agreed with the guy and referred to her as ugly. The poor girl found the experience to be so traumatic that she cut herself off from those around her and refused to return to school. Mr. Ban made an effort to persuade her otherwise, but when he saw that she had a genuine issue, he allowed her to be homeschooled. After the incident, Mainem didn't look in the mirror or venture outside for a full year. That is, until she was attempting to rescue a stuck balloon one day while she was outside the house. She was helped by a stranger who approached her. Mainem immediately covered her face with a paper bag and covered her head. She then realized that when her face is covered, she feels the most confident. It appeared as though she had found her soulmate because the bag's placement felt just right. Because of this, she has never revealed her face to anyone since that day. The bag eventually changed into a box because it was more durable. Sometimes she shows her face to her family, but Mainem prefers to remain anonymous, even from them. She struggles to even look in the mirror. Mainem spends the majority of her free time conversing with strangers on social media. Since no one can see each other's faces online, she feels more at home. The following day, Mr. Ban visits her doctor and requests an immediate recovery from her illness. The doctor makes it clear that Mainem is healthy. She has hikikomori, a strange condition that is well known. It primarily affects teenagers or young adults in Japan who isolate themselves from the outside world by spending days, months, or even years locked in their bedroom, with no contact with anyone. Mainem still communicates with her family, so if she is made to go out, she will have a chance to interact with others, according to the doctor, who believes that her condition is not that serious. She is only afraid, and that is her only issue. Before she cuts off her family as well, the doctor advises Mr. Ban to get his daughter out of there. Mainem uses a straw to eat dinner but won't remove the box. Mr. Ban requests his children to pay close attention to him in a stern voice. He is not allowed to speak by his siblings, who believe he is either gay or has cancer. Plowing brings her a new box to replace the old one and offers to help her decorate it to cheer her up. Then, for the first time, she removes the box to reveal her otherwise beautiful face. She doesn't feel any better despite Plowen's assurances that he won't permit others to make fun of her. The new main box is then decorated by the siblings. The next day morning, Mr. Ban takes his kids in his car to school. Mainem begins to suffocate beneath the box as Plowing exits the vehicle and enters the room. Mr. Ban encourages her to enter by playing soothing music for her. Mainem regrets insulting him last night and expresses gratitude for his efforts to assist her. Mr. Ban begins to sob as soon as she leaves, worried for his daughter. Mainem holds her breath before finally entering the school. Her head's large, bright box attracts attention. She becomes even more frightened as everyone begins to point and whisper about her. She is reminded of the day she was humiliated years ago by their laughter. Mainem experiences dizziness and is on the verge of passing out when a man arrives to save her. She feels a little better because he is wearing a helmet. When the man introduces himself as Minton, she becomes uneasy and flees. While doing so, she unintentionally runs into Zero, the popular guy at the school. Curious about her appearance, he and his friends asked her to remove the box. Maynam refuses, so they encircle her and try to make her do it. Minton, who stops them, removes his helmet to show his face. Minton and Zero exchange angry looks before deciding to settle their differences away from the school. Maintained is then taken away by Minton while he holds her hand. She is shown in the next scene trembling as she addresses the class. She asks the students to respect her privacy because the teacher is aware of her condition. However, being typical teenagers, they begin to taunt her and compel her to reveal her face. Minton, who is a member of the same class, is upset by his classmates' actions. Maynam enters the last seat quietly and spends the majority of the time burying her head in her hands. She visits the cafeteria during lunch break in search of her brother, but is unable to locate him. The students can't help but talk and stare at her. When two guys notice her eating while wearing the box on her head, they make her remove it. Everyone sees them mistreating her but laughs rather than intervening. Eventually, Maynam runs outside in tears after abandoning her food. In the playground by herself, Minton appears next to her out of nowhere. She assumes that the helmet he is sporting is an attempt to make fun of her box. Minton makes it clear that he simply enjoys how he appears while wearing the helmet. He then offers her his sandwich because she wasn't able to eat earlier. After that, Maynam finds it much easier to talk to him. She then announces that she won't be attending school the following day as they laugh and joke around. Minton introduces himself as her friend and invites her to go, even if it's just to see him. Following school, as promised, Minton and the bully Zero meet. Their differences lead to a verbal fight between them. By constantly accompanying his minions, Minton mocks Zero and challenges him to a duel. Zero accepts it and advances. Minton throws the first punch after asking his friends to stand back, but Zero responds with an equally potent blow. Maynam notices them fighting while she is returning home. The men must split up when the police show up suddenly. As he leaves, Zero passes her and drags her behind him. He pushes the box off her head after vanishing to a quiet place. He is speechless when he first sees her face in a pivotal scene, but Maynam assumes that he is gazing at her because she is ugly. She collapses as the trauma from her past continues to play in her head. In the hospital bed without her box, Maynam finds herself when she finally awakens. She immediately begins to fear and needs a face mask to help her calm down. Her father regrets greatly making her attend school. He takes responsibility for her hospitalization and lets her stay at home if she so chooses. To everyone's surprise, Maynam claims that the only reason she wants to go back to school is to exact revenge on Zero for making her remove the box. The following day, Zero is alone and considering how to continue. He doesn't understand why she would hide her face when she is so gorgeous. Just then, Maynam shows up and gives him a face slap for what he did the day before. Zero prevents his henchman from approaching her. He tries to remove her face mask yet again, but Minton stops him. She intervenes and separates them after they get into another altercation. By now, word of the two dashing guys' struggle for the box-head girl had spread throughout the school. Maynam screams at the guys for making her situation worse. Zero chuckles at Minton's claim that he merely wanted to assist her. He's certain that Minton feels the same way about her that he does. Inquiring as to whether it is true, Minton also notices that Zero is attempting to seduce Maynam. Flustered, Zero denies it and describes Maynam as being ugly. She once more passes out as the remark triggers memories of her trauma. While Zero is left behind, jealous, Minton assists her. The following day, Maynam returns to her insecure state. She won't leave her room or engage in conversation with anyone. When a call comes in from outside their home, Mr. Ban and Plain are discussing what they can do to help her. Zero has come to Maynam to make up for his error, but Ploen won't let him in because he thinks he'll send Maynam back into a downward spiral of depression. She refuses to let Minton into her room when he visits the following morning to cheer her up. She arrives at his location while hiding her face at his repeated requests. She was surprised to find that he had constructed a duck box for her to use as a face mask. At the sight, Maynam can't help but start laughing. Maynam cannot help but burst out laughing at the sight. Additionally, he created a duck helmet for himself. They each put on their respective headgear and proceed to form Daft Punk. Actually, they simply share meals. Minton assures her that she will be cared for and persuades her to return to school. He takes her with him in his car to school the next morning. Zero finds Maynam when she is by herself and tries to apologize, but a lot of people interrupts them and pushes him away. Later on in class, a girl by the name of Ozone comes up to Maynam and requests a favor. It turns out that since he might listen to her, there has been a rumor about Maynem and Zero dating going around the school. Ozone requests that Maynem restrain him from abusing others. Maynem storms off after denying any involvement with him. Many people approach her asking for similar favors even during the lunch break, but she declines them all. She later learns that Zero is assaulting her brother. She discovers Zero's friends beating him to the ground when she rushes to see how he is doing. They are forced to stop by Zero, who accuses Ploen of starting the conflict. He is called out by an enraged Maynem for being a thief who exploits helpless students for money and homework. Because he had instructed them not to ever bully someone who was weaker than them, Zero stares at his minions in disbelief. He tells Mayna to remove her box after she begs him to stop hurting people. If she does, he swears never to use force for his own benefit. She removes the box and shows her face, because she has no other way to keep everyone in order. The scene astounds everyone. Later, crying because everyone had seen her today, she hugs Minton. He is startled to see her for the first time, but he chooses to concentrate on soothing her. Later at home, Ploen shows her all the remarks made about a photo of her that was posted. Despite the compliments, Maynem isn't persuaded that she is attractive. She goes into her room after that and notices the window is open. She is told to keep quiet by an unexpected appearance of Zero. She is the most stunning girl he has ever seen, and he apologizes for calling her ugly. After he departs, Mulan's thoughts keep going back to what he said. She requests that her online friend view a photo of her that is posted on the school's page. Maynem finally understands that they must be telling the truth when the friend compliments her appearance and calls her adorable. She pulls out a mirror and sees that she is actually attracted for the first time in more than 3 years. She nearly cannot believe what she is seeing. Maynem doesn't bring the box to school the next day. She is the subject of gossip from every student, but this time they are admiring her beauty rather than making fun of it. Maynem is prepared to begin a new life with a confidence she has never had before, despite her anxiety. Bye. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching. Bye.